Welcome to Along the Rock, brought to you by the Radar Free Press. I am your host, Kaitlyn Blum. Today with us, we have Maggie Wike. How are you today?
I'm good, Kaitlyn. Thank you.
Great. So you're here from NAMI, which stands for the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Can you tell us what the mission of your organization is?
Sure. So the mission for NAMI is that we advocate, educate, and support people that live with a mental health condition and their families, friends, loved ones.
And you're in 4 counties, right?
Correct. So we're an affiliate named NAMI Sauk Area, not NAMI Sauk Valley. I always like to remind people of that. It's NAMI Sauk Area. And we service Lee, Whiteside, Carroll, and Ogle counties.
That's a big service area.
Very big, very challenging to get to all areas.
So what kind of services do you offer right now?
So right now, as far as support, we have our family support group meetings. There's one a month in Sterling and one in Rochelle. And then we just recently added another family support group meeting for parents and guardians who have a youth with a mental health condition or neurodivergence. So 3 total family support group meetings. Our connection support group meeting is for people living with a mental health condition, and right now those are all online. So those are run by Zoom out of NAMI, Illinois and NAMI, Northern Illinois. And the reason we aren't hosting them locally is we're looking for 2 facilitators. We have to have 2 facilitators to run those meetings, and they have to have lived experience with a mental health condition. So that's a little bit challenging to get people to step forward and talk about that and to try to find those facilitators. So if anyone out there is interested, we would love to hear your story and get you involved in that.
Absolutely.
We also have Survivors of Suicide support group, and that's held once a month in Sterling. So those are our support groups. As far as education, we offer peer-to-peer classes, family-to-family classes, and then we have a huge education program for schools. And that's a new one called Ending the Silence. And again, you have to have lived experience to be a presenter for that. But that involves a presenter to teach about the warning signs of mental health conditions and signs of suicide. And then also a speaker who tells their story of when they were dealing with a mental health condition in their youth. So it's a pretty neat program. So that's our education part of it.
Wow, NAMI has grown so much over these previous years. That's so great to hear.
Thank you.
So what do you find to be like the barriers to mental health support in our area?
So for the mental health support, I think people sometimes don't realize what we have in our area. So for example, there's Whiteside County Health Department Behavioral Health. There's Sinisippi Centers, Behavioral Health. There's a unit at CGH, and CGH is now going to be doing outpatient behavioral health. And then OSF also has a behavioral health unit. So we do have places, in our area. It's just a matter of sometimes there's a long waiting list to get in, and same with even private counseling. Sometimes you feel like you need that counselor right away, and it might be a 1 month, 2 month waiting period. So those are some of the big obstacles that I hear. And then of course in our area, it's sometimes you have to do things by Zoom or, by video because we don't have a lot of psychiatrists in our area. But there is hope. I mean, there really is places to go in our area. It's just a matter of getting keyed in and set up those appointments way ahead of time.
Yeah, now hopefully that's kind of like the importance of having conversations like this, is just to get the word out that all of these services are available. It's just a matter of knowing they exist so you know that you can access them.
Yeah. And the other thing I'll add for us, and that's why I love doing podcasts like this, is it's hard to get information that were available for these support groups and education because of HIPAA. It's, it used to be we could kind of hang out in waiting rooms at the hospital, and the privacy of their patients is very important, and I agree with that. But how do we get word out about us? It can be really difficult.
Absolutely.
So I know when you were on our board, You got us really involved in getting into the chambers of commerce, which we have done.
Yeah.
And that has helped immensely. And doing outreach in the communities has helped.
That's so good to hear. Yeah, this is definitely something I feel very strongly about. So I'm excited to support you guys, and hopefully our viewers will feel the same way and start supporting you guys.
Thank you.
One of my other questions is what are some of the common misconceptions about mental illness?
So I think, when people hear about mental illness, not that they view it as a death sentence, but it's like, oh my gosh, how do I, overcome this? And while mental illnesses are not curable, they're very treatable. Mm-hmm. And so I think the stigma behind mental illness is really big. And as much as we fight it and try to reduce the stigma, NAMI certainly does, there's still a stigma out there, which makes me really sad because I think it prohibits people from getting help, because they're worried about what are people going to think. And mental health conditions are very similar to a cold or, diabetes or any physical ailment. So
yeah.
I think stigma is probably the biggest barrier for people getting help. And I think that's reducing, I think it's getting better over time. Mm-hmm. I'll share a story because when I took the family to family class with NAMI, that's how I got involved with NAMI. And that was a class that family members taught family members about mental illness and what it looks like and what you can do as a family member. And that was so eye-opening to me because some of the people that were older than I was, and I took this, keep in mind, probably 20 years ago, but a lot of the people that were older than me had adult children with a mental health condition that were in their basements, that didn't really live a life outside of that and kind of were in hiding.
Yeah.
And then I think my generation came around and we were more open about it, but still cautioned because of the stigma. We didn't want our loved ones to get a label and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I think we've come a long way even from that, where people are talking about it more openly. I love getting into the schools. The kids are very aware of mental health in general. And so I think our future's bright with that.
Oh, that's so lovely to hear. That actually leads into my next question. I was going to ask, what can businesses and schools do to support mental health?
So as far as businesses go, there is a NAMI program for the workplace that we don't have in the Sauk area yet, but that is something I want to work on. As far as education, we received a grant through NAMI Illinois last year for ending the silence. So we used that grant to get many facilitators trained in that program. And so our goal right now is to get ending the silence into the schools. What's neat about ending the silence is there's a presentation for the students, one for families, and one for staff. So it's 3 different components, and the schools can do one of it or all of it.
Cool. Like you said, this next generation, they're going to be educated. They're going to understand that stigma is going to be gone.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It's like a long-term dream. Like we're going to see it in the next 10, 20, 30 years. We're going to see that huge change that you started today.
Exactly. And the other program that we started last year is the on-campus program, which is a student-led after-school program, if you call it that. At the high school level and colleges. And so our administrative assistant, Maggie Wike, has spent a lot of time with schools this year trying to get these on-campuses going. And we're proud to say Sauk Valley just started one. Sterling High School has one. Stillman Valley just started one. Polo started one. And I'm missing one. Amboy. So
wow.
she's in talks with many of the high schools in our area. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to make a huge difference because those students are going to decide, how do we bring mental health to our school? How do we reduce stigma? What does our school need? And each one will look a little bit different.
Exactly. The students are going to know best. They're living it.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I want to shift and start talking about the 5K that you have coming up soon.
Okay. An important event because that is our annual fundraiser that funds everything we do. One thing I haven't said yet is whatever we offer for free. It's run by volunteers. Our board is all volunteer. We have our Stigma Busters, which is our big volunteer group. And from that pool, we get people trained in facilitating and presenting and becoming a support group facilitator. That part of the training takes money. So our NAMI Sauk Area 5K is what funds us for the entire year. We have great support from our sponsors and our community. Last year we were over 300, which is a good number for that race because the course is in and out. So you run out and then come back the same way.
Okay.
So we can't get like, you know, we'll never be a Reagan run, for example. We don't have the space for that, but it's a really fun family event. So, and that's going to be held July 12th at Hoover Park in Sterling. So if you know where Woodlawn Arts Academy is, right behind that.
And how can you sign up?
And you can sign up on our website, namisaucarea.org. And today we're giving, anybody who watches this can use the promo code RADAR5 and they will get $5 off their entry.
Yay!
Yeah, yeah. So we invite anybody to come. It's just a great celebration.
Well, thank you. Our viewers are going to really appreciate that. I know we have some runners watching.
And walkers.
Yes, and walkers, absolutely. I was like, I'm not a runner by any means. I wanted to ask you if we want to support NAMI, but maybe we're not even a walker by chance. Is there other ways that we can support your mission?
Absolutely. So come out to the event, even if you don't run or walk. We have a coffee truck there. It's just a fun event. So feel free to come, even if you don't want to walk and run and you want to celebrate mental health. But also we do a day of giving in December. And you know, you could give $5. It makes a huge difference. The other thing is you can also go on our website to the 5K page and you can just donate if you don't want to participate.
Perfect.
So that's another option. We welcome Stigma Busters. If anyone's interested in mental health, we would love you to become a volunteer for us. We do a lot of outreach. We have a lot of fun. So we always welcome volunteers. If your viewers have a mental health condition and are willing to talk about that or be a facilitator, it is invaluable. It is invaluable. So that is what allows us to provide the support in our community is all of our lived experience, whether you're a family member or living it yourself. So please, if you're interested, get involved. And that's on our website too. Just click on that Stigma Buster link and you can sign up there.
Well, I want to say thank you for joining us today. And thank you to our viewers and to our production team. I just wanted to remind you that Along the Rock and the Radar Free Press, this is all free news. So we depend on your likes, your comments, and shares for us to thrive. And if you want to watch more videos like this, check out theradar.online.